Hey Gemini, it's Romy. Thank you so much for joining me for your February 2024 soul story. If you've got a sun rising or moon in the sign, you might find that this reading resonates for you. I appreciate you joining me for this conversation. So we're going to open up with the energy of the Sun of Swords, the Knight of Swords. Now, true colours shine through this month, so you're definitely going to know where you stand. But that also invites you to ensure that you are saying how you feel and who you are, so that people are not making assumptions about you. Now, there's a lightness to February if you choose to orientate your focus towards it. This stellium of energy in Aquarius that we're going to be moving into, fellow air sign, definitely speaks your cosmic language and helps to elevate you. And I think you will take the higher ground this month. You know, we were working with that ninth house energy and you're just looking toward the horizons. You have bigger things on your mind, and so it will be more challenging for people if it's their intention to try to drag you into any dramas. You know, you're just really looking to distance yourself and focus and prioritize on the things that are important and matter to you. You're definitely making headway with something at speed, and I think that you will see the momentum and feel a little bit more traction through the month of February that should give you some confidence and some validation in terms of what you've been thinking and feeling into. What I do want to say where we're looking at that Knight of Swords is that we mustn't always be in a hurry to the next thing. So there's also something about this month that is saying, because there's a huge focus and emphasis around healing, especially in the second half of February. What is it that we're trying to escape from? Because there's something that Knight of Swords is almost like running away from, okay? And I suppose we can also reframe that a little bit and enjoy the fact that it's not just what we're running or moving away from, it's also what we're working our way towards, what we're clearly, you know, have in our sights and in our midst. But there is something about being aware where you may be trying to escape from something, a feeling of it not being enough, or a feeling that there's somehow more to enjoy or to explore. So how can we be at peace? And how can we remember to seek the power of what is in this moment? And I think that's going to be an important distinction for you through this month of February. All well and good when you're feeling motivated and inspired to kind of forge ahead. But if there's an undercurrent, and this is sort of what I see like February revealing for us all, right? So, you know, we have an awful lot going on in the second half of the month. We've got this North Node and Chiron conjunction coming in on the 19th. We've also got Venus conjunct Mars on the 22nd, right in the 222 portal. Big relationship issues coming up around this time. So there's an action for healing going on here. An opportunity for us to take our power back, but there's a healing through a crisis point. So what that means is this undercurrent will show us, it will reveal to us, here are all of the ways that you do what you do, or that you are triggered or affected in the relationships that you have in ways that somehow limit or hold you back. And these are perhaps for some of you things you've been working on for, you know, some time, months, years even. But there's something profound and different about how February sort of presents it to you, and also about how you feel about it. I think in, you know, in sense of your readiness really to face and acknowledge it. Because there's something about February that sort of helps us to have the hard conversations. Now, Mercury shifts into Aquarius on the 5th. And, you know, in our ability to try to communicate what we feel, what we're thinking, what our ideas and plans are, you know, Aquarius wants us to come forth with something a bit different. But remember, in the 9th house, you're all about the advanced learning as well. And the Hierophant coming through here is also helping that to be true. So it's almost like, well, what have I learned? You know, it's not just about the emotions that I feel, it's about how I'm responding to them. And I think within that, we're almost trying to reconcile these two truths because they're at odds in some degree, because the Knight of Swords is kind of powering away from the Hierophant, and we've got this sense of the rigidity, the structure, the sort of groundedness of the Hierophant, and then this swift, fast, mercurial energy of the Knight of Swords. So they don't feel like they're necessarily like perfectly in harmony. But that contrast, even if it's creating a bit of friction and tension for you through the month, particularly if it's pertaining to issues around commitment, because that's certainly something the Hierophant is activating in the discussions and conversations that we need to have. You may be running away, you may find someone else like moving away, not wanting or willing to have that important conversation or discussion. And yet, we do have an opportunity to reconcile these two truths, but also perhaps come to terms with the fact that, we may not be able to sustain a reality that tries to hold space for them both. We can kind of accept them as real, that's okay, but at some point we have to sort of invest and devote and align ourselves to the thing that speaks mostly to us. Yeah, that's going to help shape our own internal guidance system. So there's an interesting sort of play that comes in that first week of the month. Now, Venus is trining with Uranus on the 7th, so there could be some important news, information, I feel, coming in on its way. For some of you, that might give you a heads up of like where you want to invest next, or sort of how you want to learn, what you need to learn. Remember, it's not just about what we're learning, it's also about what we're unlearning. February is really big on that, because all of this healing energy that's coming up to create this kind of crisis point to enable us to take our power back says, well, what is it that we have been using or presenting or expressing and is ultimately something that is, making us get in our own way, frankly. Yeah. So this news, information, situation or experience that comes in around the first week, helping you to sort of address that. Then, of course, we come upon the new moon in Aquarius on the 9th, squaring with Uranus. So a little bit of a pressure point being felt here. The pressure is that we need to do things differently. Okay. The pressure may also be that, what they offer may not match what you need, and that opposition is also freeing you up, if you allow it, to become at peace with making a choice and decision that's going to be right for you. Now, you've got strength energy coming in here. She's holding the canary, so she's holding on to the thing that holds joy for her, that kind of represents that beautiful soul song within her, that essence. She's tapping into the courage. She's leaning on the support. So there's definitely a sense of you being supported in ways that are both seen and unseen, but also preciously caretaking the things that really matter to you. And I think ultimately that's what helps you to sort of move beyond and really be in a position where you can start to take your power back in situations that are not necessarily serving you, especially, as we said, where true colours are really shining through this month. If somebody keeps showing you who they are, or a situation keeps showing up in a way that is being is depleting or harmful or unhelpful for what you're trying to do, who you're becoming, and really supporting you at the highest level, then, what is it that makes you continue to want to be a part and an active participant in that type of an energy conversation? And that's not about judgment towards the self, it's just about you honestly looking for spaces and energies that choose you, that nourish you, that protect you. And that will be hugely highlighted at the Virgo full moon on the 24th, because that lights up your 4th house, right? So there's an emphasis coming through. We've got the Emperor coming in here about what makes you feel stable and secure, and that being super highlighted and bringing again through important discussions, especially with regards to relationships. Look at this month as being an opportunity with any significant and important connections in your world to really address the sort of elephant in the room a little bit. Now, this year is the year of the dragon. We'll be celebrating Chinese New Year on the 10th, right on that Aquarius new moon. We have movement, we have growth, we have a directness and a focus. Now, you might want to check out my dragon meditation in the Sacred Soul Support Library over on my website, romyweiser.com. The Emperor here is telling me that there's an opportunity, especially something that you prepare for through the month of February, that is really unfolding in quite a significant way when we come into Aries season, and the cardinal energy of that helping to initiate and get it off the ground in a bigger way, especially with that eclipse influence coming in, that total solar eclipse through April. But the setup seems to be happening through the month of February. And you'll feel like some sense of urgency or pressure around that, especially as we come in mid-month. We've got the stellium happening in Aquarius, and you're kind of looking toward the horizon. You're trying to broaden your understanding and perspective. You're trying to take these strategic moves, you're really looking with a new sense of like discernment and awareness at what will serve you, not just in the short term, but much more in the medium to long term. We're talking about sustainability here. There's also people of influence showing up in the reading. Now, this could be somebody significant by way of relationship, a father figure, their husband, a partner. It may also represent that institutional voice that has some sort of say in how things unfold over the coming days and weeks. What's important to remember, Gemini, is in any and all situations, we never need to give our power away. Yeah, remember, it's not your emotions, it's about managing your reactions. So regardless of how much more powerful you feel any individual or any outside influence is or has over you, ultimately nobody can take away that true sovereignty from you. And so it's about sort of standing your ground and knowing and making sure that you are advocating for yourself in a way that gives you your own sense of empowerment. And it's really clear to me that as soon as you sort of stand up to that in any way that you need to through the course of February, you're also healing something at a deeper layer within yourself. Now, mid-month, where we're going to be, enjoying that Valentine's energy, if it's a time that you celebrate, we'll also see people showing up in a kind of unique, quirky way. You may even find that you're attracted to something slightly different, or you want to celebrate in a different way. You've got the Lovers coming through here, beautiful angel wings over this couple here. So something about, again, the protectiveness. And I think it's like you just need time and space with somebody. Now, whether this is romantic or not, it matters not, because it's the time of the month. But what we see being activated is a need for, intimate, direct, honest conversations that help to bring through these true colors. And what that means is that we don't want any outside influences overbearing in the situation. That Emperor sitting so closely here could be a help or a hindrance. So you'll see yourself as to the closer you get to that period when there is a critical moment of being able to accept, acknowledge and face something with someone through the month of February. You're either going to feel pressured or kind of overly coerced from someone, or you will feel that you've got someone who has your back. I have a sense with the lion energy coming through and the support there that actually, in all honesty, the Emperor wants to come up in a more helpful way for you through the course of this month, but just be aware of how that shadow can also present itself. The Lovers look like they're in a place of peace and contentment here. So there's definitely some sense of being able to arrive at an outcome that isn't necessarily talking about the finality of a situation, nonetheless affords you a sort of moment in time that says, yeah, this could work. Or, okay, I can accept these terms. So there's definitely something that I feel you are more validated by, and you within your own sort of nervous system and how your physical body responds, feel just a little bit more at peace, more at ease. Even if you're acutely aware, this isn't really, the entirety of what this needs to be. There's a lot more work to do. I suppose it feels like a work in progress. And, coming up toward that 22nd where Venus conjunct with Mars, there will be big discussions and conversations. There may be even a choice or a decision that sort of is pending or indeed happens. And as you move through that portal, there's something about the vibrational match and coming into harmony and union and striking up this kind of new love affair, if you like, which could be taken directly in the context of it being a love affair, or, if this is a platonic or a business or a friendship situation, the striking up of something that just feels like, yeah, I'm passionate about this. I believe in it. I'm all in with this. This feels good to me. So there's definitely something about a way through, a way forward. Of course, Pisces energy for you is then starting to activate that 10th house. And so there's something about you feeling the urgency and the deep desire to sort of ensure that your ambitions, your intentions around your career, your purpose, your work are being adhered to, you know, they're being listened, and that you're able to have the time and space to start to think about what that looks like. Three of Wands also tells me that you're thinking ahead, and that some of the ways in which you're showing up with a new sense of boldness, courage, leadership even, also present new opportunities and discussions that can feel quite fruitful for you. It's important that we don't become too critical or judgmental. The Virgo full moon, of course, will highlight all the areas that, you know, are having a direct effect on you physically as well. So, you know, if you're really pushing yourself, you're burning the candle. You know, if you're trying to do too much, there's too much juggling, there's a lack of balance, lack of nourishment, you know, or perhaps in a relationship, it's very one-sided. So whatever it is that's going on, your body will respond and show you and highlight to you around that Virgo full moon, here's how it's affecting me. And then, of course, with that North Node and Chiron conjunction, then you have an action plan for healing. Now, what will also surface around that time, you need to be aware of it, is the victim energy. Yeah, and the victim energy will be felt, you know, if you're honest with yourself, in areas within you, but also you'll see it highlighted more emphatically with people around you as well. And sometimes it can be subtle, and sometimes it's very overt in terms of where people are at and their vibrational energy. Nonetheless, it's also an opportunity for tolerance and compassion. Judgment and critical words are not something that's going to help move the situation forward. So again, be aware of that in and around that full moon. This is definitely a month to a certain extent where, Gemini, you need to go with the flow. And remember, going with the flow isn't passive. Your Knight of Swords is, you know, this is not a passive month for you. But going with the flow does allow you to move with the forces of fate and the ways in which your pathways are being orchestrated. And, you know, not causing yourself undue stress, not trying to micromanage or control what you think needs to happen, or creating stories about what will happen and interfering, you know, or expecting that that influence is somehow going to come in and thwart what your vision or intention is. So let's get really clear that going with the flow with a strong belief set and a trust in the process will pay huge dividends for you through this month of February as well, and perfectly set you up for what will be a moving and shaking period, you know, through March and April as we enter into eclipse season. Okay. If you're new to the channel, our last 3 cards we cover in the extended version of this reading, Gemini. I talk for another 30 minutes or so. We'll go into this reading in more depth. We'll also look at a personal card, personal question for you, and a relationship card question as well. So you can find the link for that in the comment and description box. It's a way to support me on the channel, and I appreciate you so much if you would like to join me. So let's go ahead and just clarify this reading, see the direction we'll be taking the extended, what energies and messages are coming up. Okay, so Knight of Swords is bringing through 5 of Pentacles and the energy of the Emperor. We have Judgment, 6 of Swords, Page of Wands, Queen of Pentacles, and the 3 of Pentacles. What about this Emperor? 6 of Wands, Knight of Wands, 9 of Cups. Okay. The Lovers, Knight of Pentacles, a Wheel of Fortune. The news and information that's making its way towards you this month is quite significant. You're definitely not like waiting in limbo. Like, it's quite clear that, you know, there's fairly immediate responses to questions coming through. They bring their own set of challenges though, 7 of Wands. Okay, so we're going to have a look at Life Soul Vision Oracle, which is my own deck. So please do check out over on my website all the sacred titles I've created, gifts to soothe your soul, and also ways to work with me. Let's have a look here. Cosmic Rebellion, beautiful. Blossoming Soul Song, another canary showing up there. A Spirit Crane. Maverick of the Light, Dancer of the Shadows, there's our dragon energy. Crown energy, activations of wisdom. This month you can also check out my Conscious Connections relationship journey, just to support you in moving through any situation that you have with another soul right now. Okay, let's have a look at the Rose Oracle. You've also got Earth Medicine and Magic Cast Their Spells. Strong Divine Masculine showing up for you this month, Gemini. And then Healing the Mother Line, just in contrast there. Healing Ancestral Work, Mother Line, Growing Up. Okay, beautiful. Thank you so much for joining me. I look forward to continuing this conversation with you on the extended. You take good care of yourselves. I will see you again next time. Bye for now.